Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing, I don't think I've ever done a video like this before, I guess. But I thought it would be fun since we are still somewhat towards the beginning of the year. I still count February as the beginning of the year, personally. But I thought it would be fun to show you guys a couple of series that I'm going to be prioritizing this year. This is going to be different from my 2025 TBR because I don't think any of these books that I'm going to talk about are on that TBR. This is kind of an extension of sorts, I suppose. And they're also series that I'm hoping to either complete fully, like they're done and I want to finish all the books that are out, or I want to catch up to them because I think some of these are, I think there may be a couple of these that are not finished, but for the most part they're finished and I would like to finish them out this year. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go through and chat about that with you guys today, so I hope you enjoy. It's also one of my favorite forms of self-care to, like, you know, get my TBR in order, kind of make a TBR. I love making TBRs. I never follow through with them, but I love making them, so this was fun for me. But do you know what one of my other favorite forms of self-care is? That's right, buying jewelry for yourself, specifically from the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa. Obviously, I've worked with Ana Luisa many times on my channel before. I love them. And seeing as Valentine's Day is right around the corner, it is kind of the perfect time to pick something up for a loved one or something for yourself. And they're also having their last sale of the season going on right now with a lot of their pieces being up to 25% off. And this is a limited time only sale, so if you guys do want to check them out, I will leave a link to them down below so you can do that before the sale ends. But as I said, I love Ana Luisa. Their pieces are so high quality, so long lasting. They are all strength and humidity tested, and they do come with a 2-year warranty on them. And I thought I could show you the couple of pieces that they sent me today. I'm also just wearing some pieces that I have from them. A lot of the jewelry that I wear on the daily is from Ana Luisa, such as the bracelets that I'm wearing today and some of the rings that I'm wearing. But let me show you what they sent me this time around. These are so freaking cute and I cannot wait to wear them. These are the Laney earrings, and they're these gold heart-shaped earrings with these like green stones on them, and they're so stunning. I mean, look at these. I'm obsessed with these, honestly. And then the other two pieces that they sent me, I'm currently wearing. The first one being this small heart pendant that I do have stacked with another one of their necklaces that I really love. But this is the Lev necklace in silver, and I just feel like it's such a nice little addition to any necklace stack. And then lastly, I decided to get another pair of one of my favorite earrings, and they are the Esther earrings in silver. They're just this little like bow and heart and pearl kind of situation that I have on. They're like asymmetrical earrings, but I got 2 pairs of them so they wouldn't be asymmetrical, but I also love the look of them when you do just have like one of each. I just think they're so cool, so dainty as well. I'm a big fan of all of these pieces. So if you guys want to check them out, I will have a link to the specific pieces in the description and just a link to Ana Luisa overall as well. So I'd highly recommend checking them out. They're so cute, such great quality, and it's kind of the perfect time to get yourself a little treat for Valentine's Day. So thank you again so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video and supporting me and my channel, and thank you as well to you guys who are watching this for always supporting me and my channel. Your support truly means the absolute world to me, and I'm so happy that you're here. So with that, let us get into talking about the 10 series that I would like to finish this year. I think first of all, I want to start out with the series that I'm going to be catching up with, not completely completing. The more that I look at this, I think I only have one series that's not like actually completed that I want to be catching up with, so I guess we'll just start with that. It'll be fine. And that is the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. Obviously, I've been reading a lot of these books in my recent vlogs, and obviously I would like to try and catch up with the series before the end of the year. I believe there are 7 books out at this point. I know there are maybe like 4 novellas, and there are also some longer length novels as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I just absolutely have been loving the series, and I think I'm really going to just continue to enjoy it overall. Basically, the series is following our main character, who is a robot, but they are actually a murder bot, meaning probably what you think it means. But it has hacked its own governor module, meaning it now has like complete control over itself, as opposed to the company it is kind of made for having control over it. And we're just going throughout this series as we're watching Murderbot deal with its newfound freedom. There's also a larger scale plot kind of building in the background that has been really enjoyable so far. It's just such a funny but introspective kind of series, I would say, and I'm having a great time, and I definitely plan to read all of the books that are out in this series thus far. This is also like my first proper foray into sci-fi, and I've been loving it so much. So if you guys have, I mean, you guys have already been giving me some good suggestions as to what other sci-fi kind of stuff I should pick up. But if you have any more that are like in this vein, you know, like kind of funny, not too crazy with like the sci-fi, but like it's still there and it's still enjoyable, let me know, because I'd love to know. And then the next series on this list, I'm kind of catching up with it and I'm kind of completing it because it's not a complete series, unfortunately, and that is the Evenfall Witches B&B series. I'm so sad that there are not going to be more than 2 books in the series, but I'm fine. But I'm excited to read the second and last one nonetheless, because I read In the Company of Witches last August, I think, and I really, really loved this. It was so good, so cozy. It's basically following our main character, I think her name's Bryn. Her name's Bryn. And she works in this B&B with her 2 aunts. They're all witches. I feel like the aunts definitely have like Hilda and Zelda vibes from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. But the series overall has like Gilmore Girls vibes, you know? So it's honestly just like a perfect combination because those are 2 of my favorite shows of all time. But it's just really, really fun. So I was originally planning on reading the second book back in October, but then I found out the second book takes place in spring. So I decided to wait on it, and I will be reading When the Crow's Away sometime in spring, I would assume. Maybe March. I don't know. A little cozy mystery sounds like it could be fun next month, potentially. But I think this one involves the death of a chocolatier. Maybe. Which I would expect nothing less from this series, frankly. The first book was so great. It's a really solid blend of mystery and family dynamics and our main character dealing with some grief as well. And it was just so cute, so good. So I definitely want to technically complete the series this year. And then another series that I'm definitely planning to complete this year is the Belladonna series by Adeline Grace. I read Belladonna last year, really, really loved it. I also read Foxglove. I didn't love it as much as Belladonna, but I still really enjoy the series overall, so obviously I would like to complete it. So this year I'm hoping to read, well, I will be reading Wisteria. I'm hoping to read this one in February. And then there's also a novella coming out in September called Holly, which I will be reading as well, because honestly, even though I feel like none of these novellas that come out for YA series are necessary, they're always just so fun and I have a good time reading them, you know? So I was really excited when I saw that there was another one coming out, and I will be picking that one up as well. But basically, I feel like the series is really popular, so I would assume you know what it is. But in the first book specifically, we're dealing with our main character Signa, who has a very interesting relationship with death. There's also kind of a murder mystery plot kind of at work as well, and I just really, really loved this one. So I cannot wait to see what the concluding book in the series holds, and I'm excited for that novella as well. I'll probably read it. I'm assuming it's a Christmassy one or like a holiday one because it's called Holly. So I would assume I'll be reading it in December, or I could be really wrong about the supposition. So we'll just see when it comes out. Then I do have a couple of spookier series on this list that I'm really hoping to complete later in the year. The first one being the Small Spaces series by Catherine Arden. The only one I haven't read is the fourth one being Empty Smiles, and I loved the first 3 books in this series. It's just such a fun middle grade horror kind of situation. I don't normally read a lot of middle grade, but like this series is so fun. But basically this is kind of following a group of 3 friends as they get mixed up into some spooky situations, as you might be able to assume. Our characters end up in like a creepy cornfield. They end up in an abandoned ski lodge while they're snowed in. In the third one, they go to a lake, which doesn't sound like it would be that spooky, but I promise it is. And in this one, I think we're dealing with clowns in some capacity. I don't know what exactly that holds, but I do remember the third one leaving off on a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to get into this one, probably in October. I'll be saving this for, or September. I don't know, we'll see. And then the other series, I'm pretty sure the 5th book is coming out this year, maybe. So hopefully I'll be able to read the 3 books in this series that I have not yet read, and that is the Gravekeeper series by Darcy Coates. I read the first 2 books in the series last year, and I just had a really good time with it. But this is just a very fun kind of, it's not horror, which I know Darcy Coates typically writes like horror-esque books. I don't consider this series to be very scary, honestly. It kind of just has a spookier vibe, and it takes place in a graveyard, which is definitely right up my alley. But basically the first book kind of starts out with a bang. You meet our main character, whose name I cannot remember, and actually, oddly enough, she cannot remember her own name either. She wakes up in this forest. She has no idea how she got there. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know where she is. And it turns out she's being chased down by these people who she also does not know the identity of. But she ends up kind of running into this small town. She meets a guy that lives near the graveyard. He might be a priest, maybe, and he offers her the caretaker's shack that's like right outside the graveyard. And as the series goes on, you kind of see that she can, you know, see spirits, and she helps them move on. Kind of that whole vibe is the series. And I was really enjoying the ones that I read. It just kind of got a little bit too late in the year for me to read spooky books, because, you know, I kind of prefer to read them in September. Nah, like August, September, October, really. I didn't really want to read any in November, but this year I definitely want to get back into the series and finish it out, hopefully. Then I do have a romance companion kind of series that I would really like to read the other 3 books in, and that is the Love Light Farm series by B.K. Borison. I read Love Light Farms back in December, really loved it, one of my favorite romances of last year. It was just so cute. And there are 4 books in this series that I do believe take place over like kind of the course of a year. So this one takes place in December. The one, I actually started this one, I'm currently reading this. This takes place in March, I think. And then the other 2, maybe like summer, autumn kind of vibes with that. So I'd really like to read all 3 of the other books in the series. That seems very doable. I feel like it's been a while since I had a romance series that I was like, you know, really gung-ho ready to read. So now that I have found one, I'm definitely going to be doing that. Me, Cass, Mackenzie also all have decided that we want to read all of the books together. So we're going to do that as well. We're currently buddy reading this one. We're going to read the others at some point in time. Don't know when, but I just really love what I've read of this series so far. I love the town that it takes place in. I feel like the couples I'm really going to enjoy as well. It's just like the right amount of cozy, the right amount of romance. It's great thus far. Obviously, I don't know how the rest of the series is going to treat me, but so far, so good. Next up, I have a series that I absolutely must complete this year, and that is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor. I know I said I was going to read this book in December. You'll be shocked to know I did not do that. But I really just need to read Dreams of Gods and Monsters. This is Laini Taylor's like debut YA fantasy series, her other one being Strange the Dreamer, which I absolutely love, but I've been slowly, very slowly, making my way through this one as well. This series has not been like my favorite, but I enjoy it enough to know that I want to finish it out, which I'm obviously going to be doing with this one. They're just so long. Well, actually, this one's only 613 pages. That's not like that crazy, I guess, for a concluding book, but it's still just, you know, it's daunting. It's a thick book, okay? Basically, in the first book, you're following our main character, Karou, who kind of works for these chimera. She's somewhat of an errand girl for them, and she goes out and she collects teeth for them, which, yes, interesting, I know. And as the series progresses, it really expands in scope from there. I don't know what I was expecting this series to do, but it wasn't any of this, frankly. But I'm enjoying it so far. I don't think the characters are as compelling as I would want them to be. Kind of same thing with the plot, but I know I want to finish it out. So at some point this year, probably in November, because that's when I read the other 2. So I'll probably read this one then as well. Or maybe I'll read it sooner and surprise myself. Who knows? I'm probably not going to do that, let's be real. Then I do have a couple of duologies that I would really like to finish. The first one being, I don't know the name of this series, but it's the one that the Crimson Moth is a part of. I do believe Rebel Witch comes out sometime later in February, so that's very fun. But I read the Crimson Moth last year back in June, I think. And for what it is, I had a really fun time. It's certainly nothing special. Like, I feel like you've definitely read this kind of story before. I would say it's like a better version of Serpent and Dove, honestly, because it's got like a witch and a witch hunter, and they end up, you know, kind of being thrust together in a, is there fake dating kind of vibe? I don't even remember, honestly. But it was fun. Solid fantasy romance if you just want something quick and entertaining, basically. So I'm definitely planning on reading Rebel Witch. I do not remember what happens at the end of the Crimson Moth. I'll probably just go ask Mackenzie, because I know she loves the Crimson Moth, or Heartless Hunter. It's called Heartless Hunter in the US, Crimson Moth in the UK. I had the UK edition, which is why I keep calling it Crimson Moth. Yes, okay. Just in case there's any confusion. So yeah, I definitely want to finish that one. And then the other series, Duology, is one that I've been trying to complete for years. Well, not like years, like, you know, a couple years. But I've had the second book in this Duology checked out from the library multiple times. I've just never actually gotten around to it. But I'm gonna prioritize it this year because I'd really like to read the other one in the series, and that is the, I don't know what this series is called either. Maybe it's just the Wicked Fox series. I'm not 100% sure. But I need to continue this series by reading Vicious Spirits by Kat Cho. This is a YA kind of fantasy series with a little, you know, dash of romance in there that pulls a lot from Korean mythology. In the first one, at least, our main character is a Gumiho, who's like a nine-tailed fox kind of thing, and she has to kill men to survive, basically, which, like, ultimate girl boss move right there, honestly. But I just really enjoyed this one when I read it a couple years ago, and I know the second one does kind of shift main characters a little bit, and I don't know if I remember enough about those characters to tell you who they are. But it's more of a companion series. I'll get a little refreshed on this, and then I'll read Vicious Spirits. But I'd really like to do that this year, because I just keep forgetting about it. Maybe I should just buy a copy of it, honestly, and then I won't be able to forget about it, because it'll be on the TBR, like the actual TBR. I don't know. we're gonna see. I might have to look into that. And then the 10th and final series that I would really like to complete this year is a series that I previously was not planning on continuing, but I think I would like to take a crack at it, you know, just to kind of see what the other books are like, and that is the Howl's Moving Castle series by Daniel Wynne Jones. I know, before you tell me, I know the second and third books do not focus on Howl and Sophie. I'm prepared for that. I have adjusted my expectations for that, okay? But I just really loved the whimsy of Daniel Wynne Jones's writing. It's like, this is like a middle grade fantasy kind of story. Obviously the first one is the book that the Ghibli movie is based off of, and I absolutely love the Ghibli movie, and I really loved the book. And I've been wanting to try something else by Daniel Wynne Jones. So initially I was gonna like, you know, read something else, but I'm like, why not just read the other books that are like actually in this series, you know? I don't expect to like them as much as I enjoyed Howl's Moving Castle. I am completely ready for that. But I just want to give them a try because sometimes some whimsical middle grade is just so fun. So I have no idea what the other books in this series are about. I got nothing. Hopefully I will be, I might listen to them on audio. I feel like that could be like a kind of nice experience, you know? That is the last series that I'm hoping to potentially complete in 2025. Obviously this video begs the question, what are some series you guys are hoping to complete in 2025? Are any of these on your list? I'd love to know. Obviously these are not all of the series that I'm planning on prioritizing in 2025, but these are like the top priority out of the ones that I am prioritizing. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, before we go, I would again like to thank Ana Luisa so much for sponsoring this video. Don't forget they're having a Valentine's Day sale at the moment that is limited time only, and I will leave a link to them down in the description box. I would also like to thank everybody over on my Patreon. If you're ever looking for more content from me, that's always linked down below. But with that, I'm going to go. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all having an amazing Friday, or whatever day it is that you are watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!